Hello, friends. My name is Trickster. Let's start our story. It was a quiet night in the small town of Millbrook. That night, Officer Mark Williams was on patrol. He had been a police officer for over 10 years, and he had seen just about everything. But tonight was different. Tonight, something strange was happening. As Officer Williams drove down Main Street, he noticed that all the street lights were out. He pulled over to the side of the road and got out of his patrol car. He looked up at the sky and saw that the stars were obscured by a thick, dark fog. Suddenly, he heard a sound that sent chills down his spine. It was a low, guttural growl that seemed to be coming from all around him. He drew his weapon and cautiously made his way down the street. As he turned a corner, he saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. The figure was tall and thin, with long arms and legs. It was covered in a dark cloak, and its face was hidden in the shadows. Officer Williams approached the figure and ordered it to freeze. The figure turned to face him, and Officer Williams gasped in horror. The figure had no face, just a gaping hole where its features should have been. It was something supernatural. What the hell? He thought. He fired his weapon at the figure, but the bullets seemed to have no effect. The figure continued to advance on him, and Officer Williams realized that he was in serious trouble. Just then, a group of police officers arrived on the scene. They had received a call from Officer Williams, who had activated his emergency beacon. They saw the figure and immediately opened fire. The figure was hit by multiple rounds, but it still didn't go down. It continued to advance on the officers, and they realized that they were dealing with something supernatural. Their hearts were beating out of their chests, and their breathing was continuous. They saw how the spirit for a moment seemed to merge with the fog. They were frozen in anticipation. But at some point, one of the officers had an idea. He had heard stories about a local psychic who had helped the police in the past. He suggested that they call her and see if she could help them. Without hesitation, she agreed to help. The psychic arrived on the scene, and she immediately sensed the presence of something malevolent. She led the officers to an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. As they entered the house, they were hit by a wave of cold air, so that the walls were covered in strange symbols, and there were candles burning everywhere. They heard a voice coming from one of the rooms, and they cautiously approached. They saw a figure standing in the center of the room, surrounded by a circle of salt. The figure was chanting in a strange language, and the psychic recognized it as a summoning ritual. She knew that they had to stop the ritual before it was too late. The officers burst into the room and began to subdue the summoner. They managed to break the circle of salt, and Summoner suddenly vanished. As they left the house, they saw that the fog had cleared, and the streetlights were back on. They realized that they had stopped something truly sinister from taking over the town. The psychic continued to work with them, using her abilities to help them solve other cases. But Officer Williams knew that he would never forget the horrors he had witnessed that night. He knew that there were things out there that were beyond explanation. And he hoped that he would never have to face them again.